Well, hello and welcome to this video. I know I'm doing a video on a Saturday night, but it's just because I wanted to get this done during the week, but there's so much other stuff going on. Another article about everything we already know about the plan, forcing us out. But before I even get started with that, this is just typical here. We're going to play this just for a little bit here of what's going on.
What do you hate about Belmore?
I hate how expensive it is. The taxes suck.
You're married.
I am married, so.
So wait, are you in your parents' basement with your husband in Belmore?
Basically, yeah.
Well, that's one thing they hate about Belmore.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so expensive.
Yep.
And what do you love about it?
I love that it's easy to get around. Like, everything's just around you. Like, bagel shop, the grocery stores.
Typical. So, she lives in a parent's basement. You got to know the right people. But this kind of ties into the article I'm about to read you. I'm not going to play the whole thing. That Tom Kelly show, it's all geared to the snobs. And she definitely is one of them. Oh my gosh, the way they all talk around there, it's just unbelievable. But anyway, here we go. Only in Newsday, millennials, Gen Z, Long Islanders priced out as costs rise in their hometowns. So this is all about the plan that we know and love, or well, we know it. We don't have to love it. And I'm going to read this article to you here about what's going on here on Long Island, most of it anyway. So Sarah Serrano is a third-generation Southold resident. My grandma built my house in the 70s, said Serrano, 20, who is studying political science and journalism at Stony Brook University. Yeah, I forgot to pull up one other thing to show you. I always wind up forgetting to show you something. This is another thing I read on Reddit here. Luxury apartments is just gentrification. And the key here is what it says on the bottom here. Most of the South Shore neighborhoods in Nassau and Western Suffolk were blue-collar, but now it's a Williamsburg yuppie-esque circle jerk. So, yeah, everything pretty much, like I said, the snobs have taken over. Get back to the article here. My mom grew up there, all of her siblings and I grew up there. I want my kids to get the same opportunity I had living in Southold, which is such a beautiful area. But Serrano says she is unsure of her future here, even though she wants to raise a family on Long Island someday. I don't see it as a realistic possibility, since the housing prices are so high and the rental prices are so high. So back in the day, their parents bought these homes for $150,000 to $250,000. Now they're worth $750,000 to $1 million or more. Many millennial and Generation Z Long Islanders are not optimistic about becoming homeowners or even being able to afford rental properties. Millennials are being priced out of the areas where they grew up, often moving to other parts of Long Island instead, real estate agents say. Back in the day, their parents bought these houses for $150,000 to $250,000. A real estate broker based in Massapequa. Now they're going for $750,000 to $1 million or more. So scrolling Zillow like it's Instagram. Everybody wants to live in the neighborhood they grew up in, said Catalin McCartney. They've spoken with her before. She's also on the South Shore with Compass Realty in Oceanside. And a lot of these buyers are unfortunately priced out of these neighborhoods. The majority of McCartney's clients are millennial, first-time home buyers, and part of her job as a real estate agent is to set expectations at the beginning of their home search. I think they kind of come into things knowing that they can't afford these places. The dream of purchasing a home in the town that they grew up in has been evaporating year by year. Perry Pop is a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker in Oceanside, said conversations with his mostly millennial client base usually start off with questions about monthly payments. I've been doing this for 11 years, and we used to be just talking about a price range. Now it's really about a monthly payment. People are really conscious of what it looks like. So the dream of purchasing a home in the town that they grew up in has been evaporating year by year. That's why a lot of the millennials have been going further east and north to stay on Long Island. I don't see them exiting Long Island, just spreading out a little more. With his millennial clients, Lindenhurst, West Babylon, and Copac have become popular home buying areas. Of course, high interest rates and home prices make it difficult for millennials to buy homes in their hometowns or just to enter the market. In fact, more potential buyers are now asking for copies of utility bills during their home search because they want to know every last dollar it's going to cost them to run that house. Leaving versus staying. I wish it was more affordable for young people because I think it's such a great place to raise a family, said Kate Hatton. 25, originally from Santa Merchis, after moving out of her childhood home and renting in Port Jefferson, she ended up in St. Petersburg, Florida. I don't know anyone that's relocated, said Hatton, who is a real estate agent with Keller Williams Tampa Central. It's so rare because everyone just lives at home to save up and eventually buy a house. If you relocate, you're basically putting yourself in the position not to come back. So coming to Florida, your dollar just goes so much further. The taxes are better. I can't imagine going back. So another one who left. Living in Stony Brook and living in Port Jefferson and going to Stony Brook, I was making $20 an hour and I still felt like I couldn't afford the bills. Coming to Florida, your dollar just goes further. But this wasn't always her vision for the future. Growing up, my plan was to stay on Long Island. I love Long Island. My whole family's still in Santa Merchis. Now, this couple here are newly engaged and live in an apartment in Garden City. You say certain demographic? Rosal Messina, 29, is an attorney living in an apartment in Garden City. She and her fiancé, Taylor Spano, are looking to buy a condo or co-op. They decided to go this route instead of looking into single-family homes. We feel that it's an asset, said Messina. It would be easier for us to pay the mortgage down to hold it longer term because it's cheaper than buying a standalone house. So they're basically renting. Messina works in Manhattan and her fiancé works in Nassau County. The couple started looking in October and were hoping to find something before they marry in June. The goal for us to stay on Long Island because we both grew up here, but the market has become hostile, not just for millennials, but all age groups. Our parents, who are boomer generation or a little younger, had the joy of starting out and buying a first home and saving up and moving into next. Our generation is unable to participate. I'm going to read most of this article, but I'll skip over certain things because I don't want this video being ridiculously long. Holly Hessner and Ava Babington are founding members of Left on Long Island, an organization aiming to connect younger and older generations in local politics. So this is all political. I'm not going to read this political stuff. I want to make the town better and hope that the housing crisis doesn't prevent me from living there, said that's the woman from Southold. Even though Serrano is only 20, she's seen a noticeable shift in her hometown during her lifetime, which can be connected back to people moving to the area from New York City during the pandemic. When I was growing up, my neighborhood was filled with older residents, people who were local to Southold for generations, and I would currently say that probably 50% of them have left, and most of my neighborhood is either Airbnbs that are either vacant during the winter or second home owners that are also vacant during the winter. So you have houses that are vacant, but they're buying them up. These city people, all the Wall Street people, all the money that's coming from Wall Street here. All right. For millennials, keeping an open mind and trying not to get discouraged during the home search is necessary. A lot of buyers are looking for a renovated home with a basement with an outside entrance because they're typically renting out those spaces now. So a lot of basements are getting rented out, which is not necessarily legal. So this is a real depressing article to read. And they don't even mention people like me. Forget about people like me. There's a bunch of articles here. Recently sold homes on Long Island. And these are some of the examples of the home prices that people have been paying here. Man, even out east, Center Reach, almost $1 million. I mean, these are just home prices here, right? So some of the example of how much it costs. A lot of these are over $1 million. Oh my God, Levittown, over $1.4 million, really? I mean, this is insanity. East Meadow, $1.3 million. Billmore, $1,090. I mean, this is Massapequa, $890. I mean, this is ridiculous, and it's like this all over Long Island. It's insane, and it's going to get worse because you're going to have more people moving out of the city, and it's going to put more pressure on everything. And, you know, as long as Wall Street keeps going up and winning, this is just going to keep going here. because the people that have the money are pricing people out. This is what's going on. This is how the plan works. And it's honestly, very depressing to read all this. It really, really is. And one thing that goes on in Levittown that I also want to show you, and we'll talk about a little bit. I'm going to talk about that in another video, actually. I think it's better. It's basically, I'd have to pause the video and put up a picture. Hold on. Okay, so what I want to show you is what's going on as well. This is Levittown, all right? They're building these huge homes. Look at this. They don't even fit the character of the neighborhood at all. And this is what's driving up a lot of the prices. All right? Another one for you. Look at this house in Levittown. And look, you got a G-Wagon up front. I mean, these are the rich people that are just taking over Long Island and forcing us out. And that article doesn't even mention what people like me go through. And I want to read this, too, because this was posted on Reddit as well. Some people say, play the lottery. You get if you win, you can, But here's the thing. Landlords don't care about that. They require income to be a minimum of 2 to 3 times the rent. It says right here, all right? All right? So this is the problem that we have here, right? That somebody basically, even if you had a lot of money in a lump sum, they want you to be making 2 to 3 times the rent. So if the rent is $2,500 a month, they want you to be making more than that, like 2 to 3 times as much as that. So you have to be rich to live here, and that all goes back to what I'm dealing with here. And living stuck in this place with no fresh air, no view. This is what I get to look at out my window every day. I can't get fresh air half the time. And I met with my housing worker a couple days ago, and she said, my agency cannot find any apartments to rent. None at all. They're having a lot of problems, all right, because the rents are higher than what they're allowed to pay, and then they're discriminated against, and nobody does anything about it. So it couldn't be clear what is going on here. And Long Island is becoming a place for the snobs, these rich people, these rich preppy people. They're everywhere, it seems, taking over everything. And as long as they're making money on Wall Street and the stock market doesn't crash, well, you see plenty of those too. Tesla Cybertrucks, I see them everywhere. It's ridiculous. I mean, I feel like I don't belong here anymore. I go on the train, all the ads are for finance. Look at this, finance, the train station, another finance ad, another one. Another one. It's all about these people, man. Meanwhile, I get to deal with this. And I get to deal with this. And this. And tonight, I can't get fresh air again. It smells like laundry exhaust, vape, and I'm still dealing with these furnace form fumes. I don't know where they're coming from. This place is not good for my health at all. But this is what I'm relegated to on Long Island. This is what my life is relegated to, and is it really worth staying here anymore? When the snobs have taken over and pretty much told you it's time to shut up, go live in New Jersey. It's all part of the plan. God, I hate the plan, but it's an eventuality. I'm going to wind up living there. I don't belong here anymore on Long Island. That's the heartbreaking truth. Every day that goes by, I can't stay in this place anymore. Yeah, I'm upset. All right? You'd be too. And nobody even talks about what we're going through. People with disabilities. We're completely forgotten. Nobody cares about us. Nobody. It's all about the snobs You know what? I have a right to call them snobs. They came into my island and they took over, and they made it only for their own kind, and they told me I basically got to live a shit life. You think you think I should be happy about that? You think I should have nice words to say about these people? I don't think so. But anyway, rant is off, and this video comes to an end. Thanks for watching.